Welcome everyone, my name is CCNP Seth, and I'm going to give you a quick introduction about Cisco Packet Tracer and the command line interface of Cisco's devices. Now, if you open up Packet Tracer, which you can download off of Cisco's Netacad website for free, and it opens up and it looks like this. It's a blank canvas right now, and you could drag and drop and make topologies as you want, but I'm going to do just one router and one switch. So if you go on the bottom left corner and hover over network devices, you get to see what type of router is there. So I'm just going to drag out 129.11, and then I'm going to bring out a switch. So keep it on network devices, and then on the bottom left there's a picture of a switch. So go ahead and do a switch, and then click and drag a switch. Okay. Now we have to connect them together, and you actually use the little lightning bolt for connections. And you can choose the lightning bolt to automatically choose a connection. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to connect it. And Packet Tracer chose what ports to choose. If you want to manually choose them, then you're going to have to choose a proper cable and then choose an interface, things like that. But let's get started and get to the command line interface, so I'll explain everything. So just go ahead and left click on the router and go to the CLI. Now, when you first turn on a Cisco device, if it's brand new, you're going to get hit with this system configuration dialog box. Now, what this does is like an easy way to configure the necessities of this device, but we want to learn more than just the necessities, so we're going to choose no here, and then hit enter a couple times, or carriage return, and then you get hit with this router and a greater than sign. When you're in this mode, this is called user mode. And basically, you can't do anything except a couple show commands. Now, how do you know what kind of commands you can do at this level? This is the greatest thing about Cisco's command line. You just hit the question mark. You hit the question mark command, and it gives you all the possible options in this mode. So right now, the greater than sign means user mode, so I'm allowed to ping something, I'm allowed to telnet to something, I'm allowed to do show. And then once I type in show, I could hit question mark again to see what type of show commands I can do at this moment. So I could do show ARP, show CDP, things like that. Okay? So that's one easy way to question mark your way out. I like saying that phrase a lot. Just question mark your way out. So you basically just pick a command, hit question mark, and then it branches off into a whole bunch of other commands that you can kind of pick your way through. So I love that about Cisco's command line, question mark your way out. But you can't program anything in this greater than or user mode. So to go deeper into this device, we're going to type in enable, because if I hit question mark, enable should be an option right there. Turn on privileged commands. So when we type in enable, we are going to go into PrivilegedExec mode. So go ahead and hit enable, type enable, hit enter. Now PrivilegedExec mode turns into this pound sign. Now from there you can do a little bit more commands. So if you hit question mark, you get to see all these things. You can do debug, you could do the clock, you could erase things. You could also do the show command as well. So you just unlocked a little bit more options in this PrivilegedExec mode. That's what it's called, PrivilegedExec mode. Okay. Now this mode, this is where you would do a lot of your show commands. Whenever you want to do a show command, you need to be in this level. So if I want to show the IP addresses on my interfaces on this router, I would do show question mark. I want to see IP stuff right there. So then I would type in IP, hit question mark again, because I'm question marking my way out. And I want to look at the interfaces. So I could do show IP interface. And then the good thing about, another great thing about Cisco's command line interface is if I typed in enough of that word, and it's the only word in that mode, I could hit tab and it'll autofill it. like that. I just hit tabbed because at this level, actually I think if I only do I'm going to take it back and just do and I hit tab, this should auto fill in interface because at this level, this is the only word that starts with an I. And it did. So that can help you spell out your command quicker and easier so you don't have to fat finger and misspell a word. Now if I hit question mark now, it gives me the options. Oh, there's more options with show IP interface. I like to do brief. And I hit tab, auto fills. Awesome. Hit enter, and then now it gives me the output of the command that I just did. Okay. Now notice here, there are no IP addresses assigned because I haven't done anything yet. I just brought it up. So let's go and configure an IP address on an interface, one of the essential things of a router. So to get into global configuration mode, where I could actually change things on a router, we're going to go into configure terminal. Okay? If I type in C and hit tab, it's not spelling out configure. Why not? If I hit question mark after the C, it gives me all the C commands. And that's why it didn't autofill, is because there's other words out there that start with C. So I need to type in CONF, and then I'm able to hit tab. Now that's spelled out configure. Hit question mark one more time. The only option is terminal. So I'm going to type in T and hit tab. It autofilled, hit enter. Now I am in global configuration mode. Because if you ever see config, then that means you're in global configuration mode. Now you're able to change things on this device. Now if I hit the up arrow, I haven't done any commands yet. I'll get back to the up arrow. But let's say I want to do this command right here, show IP interface brief. Let's type that in, show IP interface brief, and hit enter. Notice that it said invalid input detected at that caret sign right there. That means it doesn't know what SH is, and then doesn't spit out the rest of the command. This is because if I want to do a show command, I need to do it in PrivilegedExec mode. Remember I said that? But I don't want to go back to PrivilegedExec mode and then go back into global config mode. So what you can do is actually hit the up arrow to recall a command that I just did. I hit the up arrow, I recalled it, and then go to the beginning and then type in do. When you type in do before a command, it allows you to execute it at any level. So before I wasn't able to do show IP interface brief. Now if I type in do before it, it spits out my command or my output, which is good. And I get to stay in the mode that I'm in. So, but my whole goal here was actually to put an IP address on an interface. So from here, I want to put an IP address on an interface. So I could hit question mark to see what are my options, and notice it gives me a whole bunch of commands here, which could be good, could be not good. I mean, you could be overwhelmed with it, but if I hit question mark again, there is a command for interface. Select an interface to configure. Oh, that's so good. So I'm gonna get out of here. Now, if you see this -- more -- that means that there's a whole nother page of options that are available. If I hit question mark, it'll, and I'm sorry, not question mark. If I hit space, if I type the space bar, it gives me the whole next page. Now, if I want to say, okay, I already got my command, I don't want to use this again, I don't want to see the rest of the output, just hit tab, and then it cuts it off. Okay, so if I do question mark again, and then hit tab, it cuts off the rest of the output, because I want to configure this interface now. So I'm going to type in interface, question mark, to help me through. It's like, okay, well, what interface do you want to configure? I want to configure gigabit Ethernet, and then hit question mark. What is the interface number? It's 0, question mark, and then this is my only option, is this /. So I'm going to type in /, hit question mark again, and then what is the interface number? It's 0. I could hit question mark again to see if there's any other options. This CR means carriage return, which means enter. So that's the end of my command. I hit enter. Bam. Now I am in a submenu of global configuration mode, and it says IF for interface. Now I'm actually in the mode to configure an interface for gigabit Ethernet 0/0. Now I want to put an IP address on there. So I could type in IP, or if I just hit question mark, it gives me all the commands. So I want to do an IP address. So I'm going to type in IP space question mark, and there it is, address. Now, what is the syntax to put an address on there? This is where, again, question mark your way out. Question mark is your best friend. So I'm going to hit question mark. Okay, so I could get an address via DHCP. All I got to type in is DHCP, hit enter. But if I want to manually put in my address, it's in the format of a.b.c.d. So let's say it's 192.168.0.1. I'll hit enter. Ooh, it says incomplete command. Well, what is left? What do I have to do? That's the address. It says incomplete, so that means I need to do more. So I'm going to hit the up arrow to recall my last command, and then hit question mark. I'm going to hit space question mark, see what happens. So space question mark says, okay, I need to do the IP subnet mask now. All right, so what is the subnet mask of this IP address? This is a class C, so I'll leave it at the default of that, 255.255.255.0, space question mark, carriage return, that's it. And then it took it. If I don't get an error message like incomplete command or I do not recognize this, that means it took. Okay? Now, if I type in my do show IP interface brief command, or if I hit up arrow, I may recall it. There it is. I love the up arrow. Up arrow, if you did a command and you want to go back to it, hit the up arrow. Okay? Hit enter. Bam, there we go. Now we just put an IP address on an interface, but it's administratively shut down. By default, routers interfaces, if there is no config on it, like it's a brand new device, all their interfaces are shut down. So we need to administratively bring them up. And the way that we do that is we type in no shutdown. I hit enter, and then I get a couple of syslog messages. That's cool. And if you hit enter, and if you just keep hitting enter and there's nothing there, you're not hurting the device. So you could hit enter all day. I do this a lot just to clear my screen. Now, if I hit up arrow, I recalled my last command, which is a no shutdown. The no undoes or undoes a certain command. So I put an IP address on this interface, and let's say I want to take that off, or I misconfigured something, I want to take off that command. All you have to do is type it out or recall it, and then go to the front and just put no in front of it. Hit enter. Now it just erased it. Well, it should have. It says invalid input. At this point, it doesn't recognize what that what this part of the syntax is. That's an indicator, meaning I don't actually need to have that address in there. If I just put in no IP address, hit enter, it took it. Now let's do the do show IP interface brief command to see if it's gone. And it's gone. Okay? So the no command negates what command you're trying to do. So the no IP address takes away the address. The no shutdown command does not shut down the interface. It brings it up actually. And if you want to back out of a mode, so right now I'm in global configuration interface mode. I want to go back to, let's say, PrivilegedExec mode. I could type in exit, and it brings me up one level. Okay? One level it brings me up. but I want to go back to PrivilegedExec mode to where it just says router #. Type in exit one more time, takes me there, and then if I hit exit one more time, it'll bring me to user mode, and it actually kind of kicks me out. Okay, you hit enter, brings me back to user mode, go into enable PrivilegedExec mode, configure terminal, hit enter. Now I'm back in global config mode. All right, this was a quick video to show you the basics, like how to pull out a switch and router in Packet Tracer, and just to learn how to navigate through the command line interface. Small, quick tips and tricks, but I hope this gives you a better understanding of how the CLI works. Again, I cannot stress over question mark, question mark, question mark. Then after that, tab, tab, tab. Tab your way out. Okay? Question mark your way out, tab your way out. All right? So that's it. That's all I have for you. I hope this was informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.